Yo, what's up, guys? Alex Baker with Awesemo.com here, talking some UFC 251 DFS, and I'm giving you my recipe for lineups this weekend. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make in these large field DFS tournaments, and we got Millie Maker this weekend, is trying too hard to make the best possible lineup. MMA is a pretty high variance sport. I mean, it only takes one punch, a wrong move, for the fight to end, and then anybody could be on the good end of that. So expect the unexpected always, and you don't want to try to make your lineup as strong as possible. You want to veer more on the side of making it unique so that you don't duplicate the lineup too many times. I mean, we saw a few weeks ago, first prize was supposed to be like 100K and it ended up being like 2,500. So with this million, you're gonna want it all to yourself. Now, I'm not saying you want to avoid the really good plays. You want to have at least a couple really strong plays, and you can't get better than Kamaru Usman. I mean, this is a 5 round fight. We got 3 of them this week, and those always give you more outs because if there isn't a finish, you can get that extra 2 rounds of scoring. And the pace in this one, I'm projecting to be 6.5 fantasy points per minute. So with the extra 10 minutes, that's the extra 66 points to go between the two fighters. Now, Jorge Masvidal, very popular fighter, so maybe some of his fans are picking him. But Usman's got the superior chance to win, 70%. About half of them will be knockouts. And he's really popular, 51% ownership, but I have him as a 45% chance to be one of the top 6 scorers. So that are some really good odds that you can bank on. Now, Alexander Volkanovski is another 5 round fight versus Max Holloway. These guys are expensive. I mean, Volkanovski's 9.1K on DraftKings, and he has a 1.2x multiplier on SuperDraft. But he's my safest bet to be in the optimal lineup this weekend. And that's because this fight I have as above average pace. That 7.03 is a decent amount higher than the league average of 6.6. And over 5 rounds, if there isn't a knockout, you can pretty much guarantee that the winner of this fight will be in the winning lineup. So I'm definitely going to pick a side of this fight. And the ownership of 45%. That's because Holloway's ownership is also going to be very high. And you can gain a lot of leverage on the field by taking Volkanovski because Holloway is kind of like the value play of the week. All right, Salty. These guys are the guys that are a little bit better values that you're going to need to complete your lineup. So I'm starting with Maxim Grishin. He's a replacement fighter, but his odds are actually surprisingly good to win this one. 8,100 on DraftKings. Not super cheap, but what I like about him is his high percentage chance of a knockout, 29%. That's a lot higher than you're going to find in many guys. The pace isn't very... I'm not projecting the pace to be very high in this one, but his ownership percentage of 14% that I'm projecting, I think people are going to not end up picking Grishin because of that $8,100 price tag. And the fact that if you're just trying to make the optimal lineup, I'm pretty sure he won't be in it. So he's the guy that I'm really looking to. Jose Aldo. I mean, going against Peter Yan, he's a pretty big dog, 2-1 to win this fight. 6,900, a very nice salary, 1.55 multiplier in SuperDraft. They're really incentivizing you to take Aldo here, and his ownership isn't even projected to be that high at 27%. Having Aldo in your lineup really helps you get in pretty much anyone else. And if you don't take a guy like Aldo, or at least one underdog in one of these 5 round fights, it's going to be almost impossible to make a winning lineup. So hopefully we get at least one upset. All right, Jiri Prajaka, undefeated fighter in the UFC. It's his first fight. Now, this is a spicy pick because it's kind of a lower percentage play. 7,800. He's only a 41% chance to win the fight, so he's a decent underdog, and 7,800 is pretty high for that chance. But when he does win, it's more likely to be a knockout, 24%. And because of that, he has a pretty high chance of finishing in the optimal lineup. So this is a guy that I think may be going overlooked because I have him projected for 12% ownership compared to a 17% chance of being one of the top 6 scorers. Vanessa Melo. I mean, this is about as long a long shot as you can get, but she's 7K, and you're going to need to take at least one fighter in this range to really make a lineup. And what I'm really looking at here, I'm only projecting her for 6% ownership, and that's because this is probably one of the worst fights to target. The pace is average 6.7, and her odds of a knockout aren't that good. Only 1/3 of the time she wins is going to be by knockout. But that ownership figure really compensates you for that, because when she does win in knockout, there's a decent chance she's going to be in the optimal lineup. And I'm willing to take some long shots because I'm trying to win that $1 million all to myself. Making a lineup that balances ownership with upside is going to be critical to your success in UFC DFS, and especially to have a chance at a solo takedown in one of these big tournaments. So you can get all this data for every fighter on my top fighters tool on Awesemo.com. If you're not already a member, we have a $20 a month MMA promo going on. Go to Awesemo MMA DFS Twitter to learn more about that promo. We got a lot of great free content as well. We had the strategy show yesterday with Pete the Heat and Jason Floyd, and they're back tomorrow for MMA Live Before a Lock. I want to know who you're picking this week too, so drop some spicy, sweet, and salty picks in the comments below. And good luck everybody this weekend. I hope we get a takedown.